Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 13 is here for DraftKings, and I have got the top running backs on the slate. We're not just going to look at them as a rank situation. It's not like my top 5 running backs based on salary and daily fantasy. I am going to have my running backs video live on the Fantasy Football channel for your friends and family leagues. That will be live on Wednesday morning, just like every week this season. So go to smizzle.tv/ff and subscribe to that channel if you want the rankings for your season-long leagues. But we're going to go over things from a 5-box perspective. I like to look at running backs that have an advantage versus the field based on their projection or versus their projection because they're playing at home, they're favored, they have an expectation of 20-plus touches involved in the passing game, and get those very valuable inside the 5 carries, because that's what drives that fantasy score over the fantasy projection, most likely historically. Now, there's a lot of news on the table this week. Josh Jacobs may not practice all week, may not play. We don't know. They said they're hopeful that he will. There's other running backs that are possible to go. Michael Carter may or may not go, which would open up some value with Zonovan Knight as well. I can't keep you up to date with this video as the week goes along. So if you want to stay as up to date as possible, make sure that you join our Discord community at smizzle.tv/discord. The link is right down below through the link tree at smizzle.tv/links. It's the same place you go to join the Listener League. And if you're a channel member on the channel for $5 a month here on this main channel on YouTube, you get access to all the VIP rooms. So that is the best way to stay connected, as opposed to just watching a video that I record on Tuesday, and then Saturday you come and watch it, and you're like, well, what's the news situation? Join the Discord community, stay up to date. Let's get to this video. Let's go.
He's a legend.
The Week 13 Smiz Gang Listener League is posted up on DraftKings through the usual place, right down in the pinned comment down below. On the Fantasy Football channel, smizzle.tv/ff. Go to smizzle.tv/links to join the best tournament that exists on DraftKings. It's not a lobby game. You got to go through the link tree to get there. Absolutely no rake. $35,000 in and entry fees, 3 max. $35,000 gets paid out to the Smiz Gang. So let's get this one filled so that we can hopefully keep it the same size or make it bigger as the season goes along. Let's get to the first running back on the list, and it's clearly Christian McCaffrey, who has been very involved in the San Francisco offense since coming over. Now, coming off of a subpar week against New Orleans, he was a little bit banged up. Elijah Mitchell may miss the rest of the season. I think that Mason might take over that secondary role, but Christian McCaffrey is going to be extremely important to this offense. As involved as he is in the passing game, he has a tremendous floor. He also has a lot of touchdown upside. He has not scored one in 2 weeks. You're going to pay up to be contrarian here in a game that is projecting to be one of the highest scoring games on the slate. There's 3 games that I think could go 4 that could go absolutely nuclear, and this is one of them. Both offenses extremely efficient. Both coaching staffs know each other's moves, so it's going to be an all-out game of chess and utilize all of their best weapons and get them into space to scheme them into spots to get to what they have to do. I do think that Christian McCaffrey is going to play a bit of a larger role with Elijah Mitchell out in terms of running the football and in terms of those inside the 5 carries. So he's already one of the highest volume running backs in the league. That is not going to change moving forward. Dalvin Cook at 7,200 at home against the New York Jets. Jets are very good defense, and they typically turn you into a run funnel. It's hard to do anything. They're a very good defensive line, very good defensive coach in Saleh, and 2 shutdown corners on the outside. So we're going to test Minnesota this week to see if Justin Jefferson can get as open as he has basically for the entirety of his young career. And Dalvin Cook is going to be the guy that gets the majority of the work. As you can see, the volume that he's gotten has been tremendous over the last 5 weeks, excluding this game against Dallas where they got completely run out of the building. Against New England, the toughest run defense in the league in terms of defense versus position, he still got 27 opportunities. He just didn't cash in. He had 9.6 points. That's not in line with his normal fantasy point per touch expectation. But as I said, New England, a very tough defense. 2 down weeks is what you kind of want when you're buying in a following week. So like the way things go in daily fantasy, if a player has a bad week, a good player who's getting volume, I will always buy into volume. A good player getting volume who has not performed well on his for people who have played him on his salary will typically have lower ownership percentages. The price goes down, and that's when you want to get back on the train, right? It's like we're hoping that his volume will stay the same, and judging by the opponent, it does. They don't scheme away from what their identity is as a team. And their identity is based around throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson and giving the ball to Dalvin Cook. Thankfully, they're throwing him the ball a whole lot more, excluding this Dallas game. 22 targets in the last 4 of the last 5 games, excluding this Dallas game. But also has this massive opportunity, gets a lot of the inside the 5 carries. When this offense is able to move the ball and they get in close, it's going to be Dalvin Cook. The price has come down from a season high of 8,000 all the way down to 7,200. So we're getting him at a discount on both price and projected ownership. So Dalvin Cook, 5 boxes checked off this week, and might not come in at a really high percentage in tournaments. We're doing our fundraiser for No Kid Hungry. We're trying to get to that next match at $50,000. We're almost there. It is Giving Tuesday when I am recording this. So go to smizzle.tv/charity if you would like to give today. No Kid Hungry raises money to help food insecure kids by providing school breakfasts and lunches as well as at-home care for them. Every single donation you make through the Tiltify link at smizzle.tv/charity is 100% tax deductible. So if you've had a good year in daily fantasy or in your IRL job, if you just need to make some donations before the end of the year, all of those are 100% tax deductible. Every single dollar helps. If you can only donate $1, $5, $10, or if you're fortunate enough to be able to donate more like $100 or $500 or $1,000, it all helps. Every donation matters. When we get to 50K, I will add 10,000 more of my own money. And there are 2 more matches waiting behind that for us to hopefully get to that lofty goal of $100,000 raised on the year. So be a part of the charity giveaway today. Be a part of something bigger than yourself on Giving Tuesday. Smizzle.tv/charity will take you there. Miles Sanders also in this boat. Now look, it's sketchy. I may not have maybe I shouldn't have put him in this video, considering that like he doesn't have as much involvement in the passing game, but the 3 targets that he got last week were pretty nice. I kind of like that, and the fact that they were just handing him the ball constantly inside the 5-yard line. You remember in the offseason whenever he said, I'm never drafting Miles Sanders because he doesn't score touchdowns? Then Miles Sanders said, don't draft me in your fantasy leagues because like I'm not going to score touchdowns. And then like we fast forward 3 months and he has 8 touchdowns through the first 12 weeks of the season. Cute, right? If you drafted him, you're doing probably pretty well right now where his ADP was. And his salary just never goes really high. In fact, coming off of that 34-point game, where his salary was $6,800 that week, now we've got him at $6,300. Now the matchup against Tennessee, I agree, is a tough one, but they typically are a pass funnel. So maybe we'll get a few more targets to him. Maybe we'll get 16, 17 carries. They're going to score points. Philadelphia always has one of the highest expected team totals in terms of any main slate that they are on. So it would be not far-fetched for him to continue running the ball as effectively as he has this season, challenge for the 100-yard bonus, get you a few targets, and get you a couple of more inside the 5 carries with touchdown upside to be contrarian. Where nobody is going to go is Miles Sanders at 6,300 this week. Jamal Williams is the final 5-box guy. The Lions are favored, which is news in and of itself. Like, 6,000 for the guy leading the league in touchdowns, leading the league in inside the 5 carries. He does not really get a lot of usage in the pass game. He was earlier in the season, and right now they've kind of parsed this work out. He does project to get around 20 opportunities. They have seen Swift take over those jobs. He's only running the ball he's not running. He's seeing like 50% of the snaps right now. Then they're splitting the other snaps between DeAndre Swift and then somebody else. Sometimes it's Justin, what's his name from the Chargers who came over. And then now they had Craig Robinson a couple of weeks ago being that. I hate it. Just play the 2. Play Jamal Williams if you want him to be the LeGarrette Blount guy is what they're turning Jamal Williams into. Then let him be LeGarrette Blount, and then let DeAndre Swift run the old Dion Lewis role on New England, and have him carry it like 10 times and catch like 5-6 balls. But they're not even doing that. At least we get touchdown upside with Jamal Williams at 6K, but that's about it. A pretty thin 5-box running back at this spot based on the last 4 weeks not having any targets, which is regrettable, as good as he is in the passing game. Austin Ekeler is the polar opposite. He gets all of the work in the running game. 15 more targets last week. He has seen 10 or more targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this year. Do you want to know how dominant Austin Ekeler has been in terms of the reception game this year? I made a tweet the other day. I did a tweet. Austin Ekeler has 80 catches on the season. That's 30 more than the second place running back this year, Ramondre Stevenson. If you put him in the wide receiver category, he'd rank 4th And the guys you'd be ahead of in terms of total catches, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is absolutely crushing every single week. He should not be 8,500. He should be 9,500. So we're actually getting a discount here with him averaging 23.6 DraftKings points per game, going up against a Las Vegas team that has not been able to stop anybody. They're not completely healthy at wide receiver. They did get Keenan Allen back, which is relieving some of the pressure on Justin Herbert, who has had 2 good games in a row now with Ekeler and Palmer coming into his own, and Keenan Allen now running around. It's funny what having good wide receivers back will do. Mike Williams not back yet, but like they have to dump off a ton because they don't have people that can get loose deep down the field and gain separation. Like sometimes it's Palmer, DeAndre Carter every once in a while, but like the only reliable guy that they have right now in the passing game is Austin Ekeler, who is well on pace to break the single season reception record for a running back. 8,500, not nearly enough. And because of his target market share, if you want to play Justin Herbert stacks, go ahead and use Ekeler in them. Right? You can go Herbert, Ekeler, Allen, Herbert, Ekeler, Palmer, Herbert, Ekeler, DeAndre Carter had a great game and is still under 4K again this week. So Austin Ekeler, probably my number 1 running back. Yeah, he's my number 1 running back on the board this. Travis Etienne Jr. Now this one's a little bit frustrating. Another good running, not a 5-box run. We're out of the 5-box territory now. We're just talking about good running backs for this week. He left the game with a foot injury. We were all worried because of the foot that he had last week. He is not in a walking boot. He's not on crutches. They expect him to be able to be fine in this game. And Detroit is something that we want to attack pretty much all the time. What's frustrating is we want Travis Etienne, who was in college a fantastic pass catching running back. They've not given him more than 5 targets in any game. And since taking over the job after the James Robinson trade right around here, 3 targets, 2 targets, 3 targets. He left this game first half with 0 targets. Then Hasty comes in and they throw the ball. He gets 5 catches. Throw the ball to Travis Etienne. The hell are you doing? Hasty? Really? Throw the ball to this kid and let's see what he can do against Detroit, who has basically been a streamer for us all season long. Ken Walker Jr. Ken Walker the third. Coming off of 2 really bad weeks running the ball, but at least against Tampa Bay, wrapped around that bye week, he caught 8 balls and then he had 2 touchdowns. You take these 2 touchdowns away and this line looks really, really ugly, right? This is a terrible line. He did have like a 13-yard loss. Like it wouldn't have been much better. 14 carries for 39 is, yes, statistically better than 14 for 26, but like 14 for 26 just looks horrific. They do get the Rams this week, who are essentially fielding a preseason team that plays in the 3rd and 4th quarters of preseason. They may shut down, the Rams may shut down Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, possibly Jalen Ramsey. They might just shut all of their big superstars down. Allen Robinson out for the year already with a foot injury too. So congratulations to the Detroit Lions, I guess, on, finding their forever answer at quarterback, because the Rams are going to be a top 2, top 3 pick in this next draft because they might lose the rest of their games. But that's perfect for Ken Walker against this defense. If Aaron Donald doesn't play in this spot, if this offense can't move the ball like they couldn't last weekend against Kansas City very effectively at all, that's going to lead to a lot of short fields. That's going to lead to a lot of red zone opportunities, which is where Ken Walker has really thrived for this Seattle team since the Rashad Penny injury. He is going to grade out very well at 7K, not quite as expensive as the 8K plus guys, but has massive touchdown upside. We've seen the big playability, but we have not seen it since week 7 against the Los Angeles Chargers. This seems to be a get well spot, and which seems weird because he's basically averaging 15.2 DraftKings points per game. And since taking over the job, since the Penny injury, which happened midway through this game against New Orleans, he's not scored less than 12.2 fantasy points per game. Kind of came close last week against Las Vegas. But this is a good spot for him to get back on track, challenge for the 100-yard bonus, get those 20-plus opportunities for us. And though he's playing on the road, they do project to be playing from ahead in this one. So Ken Walker the third, going to be a very solid play on projection this week once again. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.